From Chinese food to pizza, Americans are no strangers to the world of takeout. In 2017, Americans spent nearly $200 billion on delivery, takeout, and drive-thru meals. And in a city like New York, the possibilities are endless. And that creates a lot of waste. From Starbucks to Seattle, companies and cities alike are banning plastic straws. Could takeout containers be next? Here's how much trash I racked up from 5 meals and a couple snacks. According to Technomic, 58% of consumers order takeout at least once a month. And that creates a big opportunity for food container manufacturers. In 2017, manufacturers sold $25.3 billion worth of disposable packaging into the food service industry. And if those containers aren't recycled, that trash adds up. Americans created nearly 80 million tons of packaging waste in 2015. And believe it or not, this pile of takeout trash has roots in origami. Well, at least an American version of origami. Yes, this Chinese takeout box was invented in America. Back in 1894, Frederick Weeks Wilcox of Chicago patented something called a paper pail. It was originally created to hold oysters. But after Chinese immigrants came to the U.S. for the gold rush in the late 1800s, Chinese restaurants began taking over the food scene. And soon enough, the paper pails were adopted to carry lo mein, rice, and sesame chicken. In the 1970s, a designer at Foldpack put a red pagoda design on it, and voila! The red-white paper pail was branded into the takeout icon it is today.
Many of those restaurants didn't have the floor space in their restaurants to be able to have tables and their patrons come to them. And so they had to figure out a way that they can get that experience into the homes and into the hands of their potential customers.
But Chinese food wouldn't dominate the takeout market forever. More than 16 million Americans served in World War II. When U.S. soldiers returned from Italy, they brought home their love for pizza. It quickly became Americans' favorite carry-out food, and still is today. At first, restaurants threw the pizzas in a bag for easy transport. But as pizza became more popular, pizza shop owners needed a better option. In the early 1960s, Domino's worked with Triad Containers to invent the first corrugated pizza box, which is still the basic design for pizza boxes today. And pizza delivery is no small business. In 2016, U.S. consumers spent $9.6 billion on pizza delivery alone. And in the 50s, television became a huge part of American culture. People were so captivated by the glowing screen, they didn't want to leave the house to eat. So instead of competing for the television's attention, restaurant chains began developing menus tailored to at-home eating. And by the 60s, Dart Manufacturing was ushering in foam food containers to the takeout space. You won't find them anymore in cities like San Francisco, Seattle, and Portland since they were banned because of environmental concerns. But there are still some places in the US that use them. But let's back up again. There have been 2 big factors that have transformed the takeout industry in the last half-century. 1, women were entering the workforce en masse, which means they weren't at home cooking, and the proliferation of a cheap and durable material, one that didn't make a mess: plastic. Since the 1960s, global demand for single-use plastic has increased 20-fold. But the problem with containers like these are that they don't naturally break down. Many are technically recyclable, but every area has different rules about what they'll accept. If there's food or liquid on containers, many times they're not able to be recycled. Which leads to this. Nearly 13 trillion tons of plastic is dumped in the ocean every year. Some companies like Shake Shack are trying to fight this by going biodegradable.
Most of the material that leave our restaurants, as a good part of our business, is takeout and food that leaves. So we're looking for materials that are as best biodegradable on their own without actually having to get into recycling services or recycling centers in order to be reused.
In 2016, 60% of consumers said they would pay more for takeout meals if food and beverages were packaged in an environmentally friendly way. In 2017, that dropped to 52% because people are expecting their packaging to be more sustainable. Delivery giants like Seamless and Grubhub are trying to help reduce your environmental impact by giving customers the option to opt out of plasticware and extra condiments. All you need to do is check a box before you order. And the future of packaging is on companies' minds. Some of the biggest food chains are teaming up to develop a scalable, more sustainable cup. Even Apple filed a patent for a new type of compostable pizza box. According to Morgan Stanley, it might take government regulation to reduce plastic waste. Just look at England. In 2015, it added a tax of 5 pence per single-use plastic bag, and it saw an 85% drop in use by shoppers. But what we really might need is a moonshot alternative to plastic. Are you ready to eat your takeout container as dessert?